In two previous clips, we explored why firms comply with institutional expectations and where these institutions originate from. Today, we turn to a deeper puzzle, the paradox of embedded agency. Here's the paradox. On the one hand, institutions create stability in markets. Firms and individuals follow rules, often without thinking about them, or otherwise because they make the same rational trade-offs and/or are subjected to the same normative forces. This shared behavior makes markets predictable and structured. On the other hand, as Douglas North reminds us, institutions are ultimately man-made. They are not laws of nature. If individuals disagree with an institutional expectation, they may try to challenge or change it. Actors therefore have agency, the ability to change, while also being embedded in the current institutional framework. So how can both be true? How can institutions provide stability if people are always able to contest them? Let's return to the example we've been using before, with sustainability reporting. Today, many firms publish ESG reports because institutions in their environment expect it. Regulators, investors, and civil society organizations all reinforce the practice. This makes reporting stable. Most firms comply, and markets come to expect it. But not everyone agrees. Some managers argue that sustainability reporting is costly and adds little value. Others argue it doesn't go far enough and push for stricter, more standardized disclosures. These disagreements show that the potential for institutional change exists, even while most actors keep following the existing rules. Why do stability and change coexist? The literature helps us resolve this paradox. The key insight is that actors do not always behave the same way. People and firms sometimes follow the rules and sometimes challenge them. This means that institutions are stable most of the time, but under certain conditions, pressure for change builds up. By studying those conditions, we can predict when institutions are more likely to remain stable and when they may transform. There are two levels of predictors: the characteristics of individual actors and the characteristics of the broader context. At the actor level, not everyone has the same ability to challenge institutions. Firms or individuals with a strong reputation are more likely to push for change, because others take them seriously. Actors with networks that span across industries or professional groups also have more influence. They can bring in new ideas from one setting and advocate change in another. So, in our sustainability reporting example, a company like Tesla with strong visibility and cross-industry ties is more likely to question or reshape reporting practices than a small supplier with little influence. At the field level, stability depends on how settled or unsettled the institutional environment is. When a field is in crisis, all the rules may no longer work. When multiple logics coexist in tension, for example when different rules apply to different industries, these rules are less stable. And when a practice is only weakly institutionalized, meaning it hasn't yet become taken for granted, it is easier to contest. For sustainability reporting, this explains why debates are so active today. Some actors push for voluntary disclosure, others for strict regulations. The coexistence of different logics makes change more likely. So, how do we resolve the paradox of embedded agency? Institutions are stable because most of the time actors follow the rules, whether for rational reasons, social pressures, or moral beliefs. But because institutions are man-made, they can also be challenged. Change happens when influential actors, often with strong reputations or broad networks, push against existing rules, especially in context of crisis, multiple logics, or weak institutionalization.